Well, it was opening day was chaotic at Kings Island. The night before, we worked till 6 o'clock in the morning, finishing the park. We were actually still putting plants in. We were putting blacktop down. We were still painting. We were still putting up doors. We were putting boats in the water for the rides. So it was really a chaotic day. Had we had 4 more weeks, it would have still been chaotic. That wouldn't have changed a bit. But it was a great day, and we didn't know what to anticipate. We set up a dais at the underneath the Eiffel Tower. We had the chairman of Taft Broadcasting Company, Charlie Meacham, the president, Dudley Taft, the Wachs family, Gary Wachs, Ralph Wachs. We had Bill Hanna and Joe Barbera came in from the studios. And we had some other local dignitaries and people of our staff. Well, I was one of the coordinators of the day, so I was standing out basically on the side of the fountain, coordinating the parades coming in and making sure the traffic was flowing correctly. It wasn't an overly crowded day. First day, we only had about 6,000 people. And interestingly enough, at Kings Island, we didn't know. I'll never forget Charlie Meacham said to me, first time I'd ever heard this, he said, "I wonder, what if you throw a party and nobody comes?" And up until July 4th, Kings Island didn't see really any extraordinarily heavy traffic. We had days of 5,000, 6,000. We had some 1,500 days, 2,000 and 3,000 days. Larger than we'd had at Coney Island at those times, but not overly crowded.
There wasn't a rush of people in the beginning, and we were a little bit concerned there in the early 4 to 5 weeks. People weren't pouring in the park, but the ones that did went out and told 100 people, and all of a sudden, about 3 or 4 weeks later, they came from all over the place.
On July 4th, 1972, it was like somebody turned on the spigot. A huge reservoir opened up, and people started pouring in. And they poured in, and they poured in every day for the remainder of the 1972 season. We were averaging 25,000 to 30,000 people a day. It was unbelievable, the number of people.
Our projected attendance, we told Taft Broadcasting that this park will do 2 million people the first year. And we put ourselves on the line for that.
Well, we originally had projected 2 million people the first year. That was our financial projection and our attendance projection. We were all naive. We didn't know whether we'd hit that or not. On the final night of the first season, when we closed the door and we turned out the light, and of course we kept a running daily tab, we knew what our attendance was. It was 2,012,000. We were the first theme park in the United States outside of Disney at that time to ever break 2 million people during its first year of operation. So it was a crazy season. It was wild, it was busy, and we were all very tired at the end.
So we did 2 things. We hit our attendance goal, and we opened on time. That's another significant thing, because now, I mean, here you have a handful of guys from Coney Island that had moved up to Kings Island for construction. Very able people, very loyal people. We worked with a contractor, CV Mesher, and we had construction meetings every week. And those meetings were interesting because the Coney Island people were pushing Mesher. Mesher was pushing Coney Island, and we had what I call controlled conflict at these meetings. And I'm conducting these meetings, and it was like an atomic reactor. If you push the rod in too far, you're going to have a damn meltdown. If you don't push it in very far, you're not going to have enough activity. So I'm trying to gauge this thing and get as much controlled conflict out of this group as I can. And we pulled it off. We built a very solid park. It's the best built park in the country.